As Richard said, my name is Scott Bates. I'm a professor in psychology in the psychology department. I'm a social psychologist by training, and I'm also one of the 3 associate deans and associate vice presidents for the office. I direct graduate central supports for graduate research and the undergrad research program. So anybody who in here was involved in undergraduate research as a undergrad student? So we have a really rich history here at Utah State. We've had the undergrad research has been around since the mid-70s here, and you'll find that it's really infused into what your experiences will be and be. And then when the offices combined 4 or 5 years ago, one of the things we saw, we started to think, gosh, there are central supports for graduate student researchers as well that we can provide. And this started to become what we started thinking about as the value added section of what we can do centrally for graduate students across the board, not just in research, but across the board. And the reality is that your departments are going to direct your degree programs very specifically, and so we have been very consistently looking for ways that we can provide different sorts of experiences that can cut across different sorts of groups. So this list is not comprehensive, and it's going to be, I'm going to talk about a few that I'm going to highlight today, that resources that we offer that we think you may be interested in to take a look at over time. When you hear us talking about the program that's called GRITS, G-R-T-S, is Grad Research Training Series, and you picked up a bookmark on this. It's the thin one, looks like that. And our office puts together a series of effectively monthly workshops for graduate students where we try to provide training that happens or can happen outside of your department or supplement the training that you do get in your department. So in this particular case, this year we've got, actually on October 14th, you could come and hear me talk about effective tactics to improve teaching. If you've got a trajectory in teaching and you're worried about it, or if you've got a trajectory in teaching and you're excited about it, that's a session where I'm going to spend some time with some panelists talking about our experience and how to support really good teaching across campus. We also have a lot of expertise in designing and presentations and slide design and that sort of thing. And so you can see grit sessions throughout the year that are really related to building on your skill sets to help you express the content you're getting in your grad programs more deeply. So those are great ones. The Grit series is it's really a successful series. We started a couple years ago, and it's been a wonderful resource for grad students ever since. The second thing I'm going to talk about is your thesis and or graduate or dissertation, and we actually do a series of workshops to get you some help getting started on thesis formatting and processes to try to demystify and de-terrorize the process that can seem like this thing off into the future, because it's not. It's coming. It's going to come very fast. Nobody at the end. I've been on probably 50 dissertation or thesis committees in my 15 years here. And I've never had somebody say, that was easier than I expected and took less time. And so the reality is that these kinds of workshops really can support your process and either get you started or keep you moving in sort of getting that culminating document completed and finalized. So it's never too late. Take a look. The next offering we have is actually something that's fairly unique to Utah State. We bring in an external grant company whose entire operation is about getting people to write great grants. And by great grants, I mean great proposals, great ways to ask for money from other people, which regardless of whether you're going to get a PhD or an MBA, you are going to be asking other people for money. And this program we brought in a few years ago, and it's designed, and they're an independent company that really runs through this day-long workshop that's available free to everybody, every graduate student, 2 times a year. We also offer one to faculty. All of them the faculty fill it up every year in their slots, and the grad student one also fills up every year. Come and listen and hear about what it means to really write great grants. It's a great program. It's free to you, and we offer it twice a year, and that'll be ongoing. But workshop space is limited, so I think as soon as you start seeing announcements, and you'll get email from us that say it's time to register, and if it fits into your calendar, by all means, take a look and sign up. I was just talking actually to the dean of the College of Science yesterday, walking back from a meeting, and I was mentioning the grant writing workshop, and she said, she's a full professor in chemistry and the dean of the College of Science, and she said, I attended one of those workshops, And you know what? It changed the way I wrote a grant, and I submitted it, and it was funded, and I hadn't had that particular project funded in a couple rounds. And so these are really, really effective ways to learn how to write proposals really, really, really well. So it's a great resource here on this campus that not everybody gets. Everybody here can have, not every university offers it. Every spring we run what we call Research Week, and that's when we have awards ceremonies, and one of the really special events that's the one that I sort of personally direct is the Student Research Symposium, and we have a full day of opportunities for students, graduate students and undergraduate students, to make presentations, get feedback on those presentations. Ahead of time, we have a really great training series. So if you're worried about your skill set in making presentations, well, maybe the first time to try that out won't be when you go to your professional conference, right? If you're worried about it, practice. And one of the great ways to practice is in front of an audience in the Student Research Symposium. We run that every single April, and it's a great program. You get feedback. We've been building over time ways to get more training to you and more feedback to students who make presentations. We run poster sessions, we run oral presentation sessions. It's great. One of the other things we do during Research Week, and Mark mentioned this, is Ignite. And Ignite is a speaking series you may have heard of. It's where speakers they make 5-minute presentations, and the slides auto-forward. So they just go about every 20 seconds. And they auto forward. And we actually work with students, so usually 8 students or so, some undergraduate, some graduate, and we work with them on presentation skills, and then we have a session at the end of Research Week where you can come and hear or come and present what's going on in your research, in the world of your research. And it's a great program, and it's super exciting. It's one of my favorite parts of Research Week and the full year. The final thing I'm going to talk about is the RGS Graduate Student Travel Award. So one of the best ways for you to, we think conference presentations are one of the best ways to accomplish a lot of goals. One is, it's really a way to get your name known. You as a graduate student, your name known if you get to go present in your discipline. So if you're in psychology and you get to go present at the American Psychological Association, this is a great way to meet people who are in psychology who may want to hire you, to meet people who, and also locations where you can learn a lot from people in your field. And so we like to support that centrally. And so we have a fund set aside, we have tens of thousands of dollars set aside every year that we use to send you to conferences. The instant that you apply to present at a conference, the instant that it's accepted, you should go to our webpage and apply for that funding, because that funding is limited. It's tens of thousands, and it's not enough. It runs out pretty consistently, but we fund lots and lots and lots of students. We have sent students all over the world with this program, and so it's a great one. In fact, this is our recent map of where we've sent students in travel funding, because that's sent some students internationally, and a lot nationally too. So those funds are available, $200, $400, up to $400 to do conference travel and that sort of thing. You can fund, if you go back one slide, you can fund a bunch of different aspects of it. So it can fund your airfare, it can fund conference all the standard conference costs can be funded by this. We think it's good for graduate students generally to go out and make presentations at conferences. We also think the university benefits from that as well. We believe, gosh, when we have great students out presenting what's going on at Utah State University, we think everybody wins. And that's actually one of the underlying aspects of why I love my job at Research and Graduate Studies, is that we are constantly on the hunt for everybody wins sorts of situations. And so we think that this value added component of your graduate education can be one of those primary ways. So I gave away no swag, I apologize. But I give away money in the Graduate Travel Awards, so there's that. I'm going to turn the microphone back over to Mark, and we will proceed. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. I think it's more important to give away money. We hope you've gotten just a little bit of insight to what we're trying to do here. All right, I've been told I'm way over time, right? So they're saying that the ice cream's melting. We don't want ice cream to melt. We're going to stay here. We'll be here. We'll have ice cream, and we'll answer questions with you. So thanks, everyone. We appreciate you coming.